Welcome back. Now, 2017 can also be described as a year of political defections. Of course, we cannot say for now if 2018 will now witness more defections than 2017. The Supreme Court finally laid the protracted PDP crisis to rest in 2017, and the party has moved on by organizing a convention to choose its leaders. There have been many defections across parties since the beginning of the year, but one movement that is generating waves in the political circle is the return of the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to PDP. We will look at the implications of this return and how it will shape both 2018 and the 2019 elections, and of course, the PDP convention and the fallout of that convention as well. I have Libros Oshoma, a lawyer, with me here, and I also have Ufeli with us as well. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
First, Libros, let me start with you. You look at 2017 for the PDP. Just how would you sum it?
I would say 2017 for PDP was a year of unpreparedness, because one would have expected
a year of crisis.
Yeah, a year of big, yes, crisis, unpreparedness. Also, I chose that word specifically because from 2015, 2016, you would have expected that, 1 year plus would have been enough for the reality of being an opposition party at the center would have dawned on them. But it's obviously they really didn't learn anything. And then also, remember it was at that time, I think 2016, that they handed the party over to Modu Sharif, and then the crisis of ownership started, and finally...
Because dovetailed into 2017.
Yes, dovetailed into 2017, and finally, the Supreme Court came to their rescue. And one would also have expected that from that time, there should be wider consultation before the National Convention. But it was also obvious that decisions reached were reached in a hurry. And so that's why what eventually played out at the convention was contrary to, the promises made and decisions reached. And so that's why, having a fallout of all of that now snowball into the crisis, rocking the party now.
Exactly. Now, you look at the fallout of the last convention of the party. Do you get the impression that the party has learned any lesson at all? Because you tend to get the impression that the party would not appear to have learned its lessons.
Well, the PDP, the way they are not acting as if they are in opposition. They are managing the party as if they are still in power, technically at the center. Because if you look at it, you'll find out that during the convention, there were a lot of crises. Because first, the party have no political ideology. So members do not...
Other political parties do have,
well,
no ideology.
That's what I think, specifically because we are discussing them now.
Yes.
Because first, the members don't know the direction for which the party is steering towards. They don't know, because
exactly.
If you look at it, you'll find out that the leadership, were divided. Those who have been in the party from inception came out to tell Nigerians that the process was not transparent. The process that brought in,
because it appears
Uche Secondus.
A new leadership has suddenly sprung up this time.
Yes. So there is this discord within them, and what I think they should do is to create systems, is to create methods, because they lack it, so that they can build the party from that. And before you can present your candidate in 2019, you must have put your house in order. But they seem not to be doing that. They are divided, they are scattered. It's about individualistic interest. I mean, politics is the authoritative allocation of value. And political awareness, political participation in Nigeria has increased. This is no longer 2013, 2011. Participation, our votes are gradually...
It doesn't appear the party is getting that.
They are not getting that. Our votes are gradually now counting, okay? So what a political party should do is to grow to that philosophy. adopt international best practice, grow the political party, get political ideology, let the followers, okay, let the members and the leaders buy into that big vision, so that from there you can now, project. But where you don't have all this in place and you expect Nigerians to trust you again, having steered the ship for 16 years into oblivion, into poverty, hardship, having taken the society to a point where we don't even understand where we are politically, you expect them to now, trust you, and hand over their mandates to you again, their allegiance to you again. I mean, that's not easy.
Let me come to you, liberals. You look at the convention itself, the way it played out. One of the problems that the PDP had always had in the past, and it seems it's still there, is that of the big man syndrome. You have one financier who's very powerful, has money, and it's like he controls things. In the past, the governors were very powerful. But this time, we seem to be having a situation where one governor, especially the governor of Rivers State, has become very, very powerful, and probably one or two other governors, and they are the ones actually in charge. The old brigade, so to speak, the likes of the Bode George, the founders of the party have all been relegated to the background. Jerry Ghana and the others.
You see, that's one. You can
and that is not good for party development.
You can say for the PDP that ought to be a plus, but unfortunately they turned it into a negative, a minus. Why? Unlike the APC, where you saw the leader of the party, the PDP is not that kind of party. Anybody can grow and emerge as leader. But rather than turn it to a strength, it now becomes that same syndrome, the same attitude of the average Nigerian politician, the big man syndrome. And so one would have expected, like Evans had said, because of the new political awareness and the couple with the social media, the information superhighway. Now with a click of the finger, you can get information anywhere. And so Nigerians are no longer going to just sit back and because you are a political party and then because they were looking for alternative, they just hand over mandates to you. You need to work for it. And in working for it, what they will be looking for is, you've been there for 16 years. What are you going to do differently? And so, as PDP realized the fact that Nigerians want to see differently, like create an ideology, this problem of lack of ideology for political parties, why don't we start it? I expect them to say, look, we want to start. This is what we stand for. And then let's have...
Well, you get the impression that the party is basically concerned about 2019.
Exactly.
It's not bothered about
it's all about...
building any...
That's what I'm saying, that the strength, rather than turned it into a bigger strength, that's not a witness for them. It's all about winning election. But the way and manner to winning that election, they've completely jettisoned it. They've closed their eyes to those methodologies and now fixated on, 2019, thinking Nigerians will foolishly just buy into, because yes, the people are not too happy with what is happening, and so PDP should become an alternative. No, it doesn't work out that way. That's why for me, as a political observer, I would have expected that PDP, this old brigade, a lot of people want to see the old brigade take the back seats because they are the same faces that led... But
it appears the new brigade are doing... They're making the same kind of mistake the old brigade
But then the new brigade that you have are, a chip of the old blocks. And so one would have expected, for example now, the PDP go on membership drive. And how do you do membership drive? By creating something new that people can buy into. By bringing new faces that are believable, that people can listen to and say, okay, yes. And then also, I had consistently also preached this message of forgiveness. You need to apologize to Nigerians that for the sins committed by your fathers, and then promise a new ray of hope, believable new ray of hope with your actions. Give it to APC. APC, you can't discuss APC today without discussing Lagos and Fashola. It was the good works of Fashola in Lagos that gave people the hope and the belief that, look, something good can truly come out of state governance. And so people started yearning for, and so with that, ACN, the then ACN, started expanding. And so the result is what we're seeing today. And so PDP also need to have a method of actually starting from somewhere and not just having that facade of, oh, we are the largest party in Africa, and you believe that you can just sit down and win elections. And so now, do political parties do membership drives in Nigeria? The answer is no. And so you still keep your cards. The governor believes, just the same way Modu Sharif was looking for a platform with which to own, you now have a situation where, oh, a governor of Rivers State, because they believe is the one financing and he should own it. Then what's the difference between you and the party that you criticize?
Thank you very much. Because you talked about this, Evans, let's tell ourselves the truth. I mean, financing is a problem. It's really a problem how you finance this party. And it appears the man who brings the more money controls things. So we're going to take a short break now. When we come back, I want us to talk more about that. On DEJI360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country?
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that panel.
DEJI360, providing clarity to issues. All right, welcome back. So, Evans, we were talking about financing. I mean, you look at the crisis that the PDP, the leadership crisis over Modu Sharif, for instance, that the PDP faced from 2016 to 2017, basically caused by some governors. I mean, the governor of Rivers State and the governor of Ekiti State basically brought Modu Sharif in and, on their own made him the chairman of the party. Eventually, things didn't work out well. Then you would have thought that they ought to have learned from that to give the members a voice, a say in the way the leadership of the party, is elected or evolves. The last convention that the party had, we saw almost the same thing playing out again. Yeah. I mean, we saw this collaboration between the governor of Rivers State and the governor of Ekiti State playing out again, and of course with so much money. And some people have justified the issue of money that, look, you just have to spend money to get what you want. So it appears they're still not getting it.
Yes, they are not getting it because PDP have no internal democracy, even within themselves. And that is why, whilst they were in power, Nigerians could not access democracy. Nigerians could not access the dividend of democracy because internally there is no structure. If you look at it, what you just said now, who financed the party seems to be the leader. It happened some time ago. Ojuzo Kalu had complained that whilst they were trying to build the party at that time, nobody had money, that he brought out all the money. And therefore, you should have so and so. He said that at that time, when Obasanjo disagreed and all that. So the way the party is managed, the way the party is handled, I don't think that these governors should weigh this kind of influence in the party. Is this not democracy? I mean, democracy should be government of inclusiveness, should be people coming together. You see, a political party is an association with objectives, okay? And the objectives is supposed to be driven by the totality of the membership.
Very quickly, do you think the return of Atiku to PDP could help change things?
Well, the return of Atiku to PDP, well, it depends on what...
I mean, a founding member of the party.
A founding member of the party, one also who understands the party very well. You understand? But if he's given the chance by the governors, if he's not in the good book of the governors who weigh this capitalist influence in the political arena, then it will be difficult. But if he play his game very well and find his footing within the party as it's structured now, then perhaps, because his contemporaries are the ones that have been pushed to the back door, to the back seat now. And now there are new crops of persons and all that. And one thing, again, I see that the PDP is getting wrong. The PDP don't understand that the APC, they are very easy to defeat. APC is very easy to defeat in the sense that APC is failing Nigerians. So if you have a party which is not living up to expectation and you are in the opposition, what you do is not fighting yourself. You come together and devise the strategy to knock them out. But PDP don't understand it. They are not doing this. What they are doing now is to build the same kind of practice they've done all over the years and all that.
Libros, the PDP, Atiku left sometime in, he left, of course, in 2006, he left, and then he left again before the last general election. That the PDP Atiku left back then is not the same PDP it is now. But he doesn't seem to realize it.
It's the same, it's the same. There's no difference. It's just the actors.
No,
the actors that have changed. Subtle. There'll be movements, realignment,
do you
and
think
new ownership.
And that's the question now. When I say it's not the same in the sense that do you think Atiku could again become a very important factor on the PDP?
Yes, he can. Mind you, you just talked about finance. Which is very important. Why was PDP handed over to Modu Sheriff?
And that's another problem. When you have two people who have this money, so there'll be serious competition.
They can. There's either synergy or competition.
If they can have common interest anyway. But we also know that when it comes to the issue of elections and electing candidates, this is where...
Why do you think Uche Secondus was handed over the chairmanship of the party?
You tell me.
Because the governors who are in control see him as somebody they can easily send on errands. This is how we want it done, and he will do it. In politics, they are not looking for somebody who, an independent-minded person who will be firm to take decisions. They are looking for that person who will be 100% loyal to their cause. And so, if, like they say, he who pays the piper would want to dictate the tune. And if Atiku, being an old warhorse, if he's able to, maneuver his way through to the core interest of those who are in control of the party now, it will be easy for him also to, get a bite of the meat. But
go on.
But the but here is the fact that with the way they are going, I don't see them making a strong inroad, at the general election, because you don't need to concentrate all your powers in one section. You need to find opportunity to distribute them evenly, and which was what worked for APC in the last general election. Where, they knew that, Buhari had a cut followership in the north, and then you also, Tinubu had a similar, kind of followership in the west, coupled with, the candidates that he had consistently presented in the southwest. And then all they just needed was just a bite from the south-south and the southeast. And then you're good to go. So, but for the PDP, this idea of, I want to own it, Wike might end up being a big fish in a small river rather than being, a big fish in a big river, because if you allow the PDP to spread, if you allow, it to go, you still hold your own from that to your region where you're controlling, but you allow, others to participate in the process.
Very quickly, let me ask you this. People have said the basic reason why Atiku came back is because he wants to, achieve his presidential admission.
Yeah.
You'd think,
yes.
From your own calculation, do you think he could eventually pick the ticket of the PDP?
In Nigerian politics, you can't say never, And if you look at the PDP now, as presently constituted, I really don't see, because to them it's all about the money. Who is ready to finance the party? And so I really don't see, apart from the governor of Ekiti and Rivers, I really don't see any other person, any other money bag who is ready to match Atiku money for money, naira for naira, dollar for dollar. And so if this governor, if he's able to go into, an arrangement with this governors, he might just, carry the day. And then also, because I still don't see them as people who are truly interested in contesting for the 2019 presidential election. Because there's still some infighting. And the infighting you see, unfortunately, it's not about, the elections or about what you will bring to the party. I still see all the actors as, It's about more about what do I benefit from the party, because strategically, if you're in a strategic position, the elections are here, and so anybody that is unable to get a ticket from the main party at the center, the ruling party, you know, there's a fringe party for them to defect to, and so there's money to be made.
You think Atiku might get it?
Well, I wouldn't say he won't get it, but I will say that it depends on the strategy he deploys.
Especially when you consider the fact that the presidency has been zoned to the north anyway, where he comes from.
Yeah, the president has been zoned to the north, and we in a way, he will need to work his way, because if he wants to play a game against those governors, these two major governors, Ekiti and Rivers, he may not clinch it. The reason I said so is because they are the ones who are practically...
Especially when the Ekiti governor also has an interest.
Yes.
I see that as a comic interest.
They are the ones practically controlling the party. So what I think he should do is to play along with them and possibly get them to understand why they should allow him and give him a chance. No, but then allowing him and giving him a chance is not even the bigger picture. The bigger picture is when he's finally given the chance, or when he's allowed to go through and face the APC, what does he really...
Well, let him get the ticket
first. Yeah, but then quickly, DG, mind you, apart from these two big governors that you see, there are also some past governors who still wield some influence, form of influence at their state.
The former governor of Akwa Ibom State.
And then the former governor of Delta State also, who still wield influence, who have, you know, some form of relationship with the same Atiku. And so it depends on, and that's why it was very easy for him to rush back.
Now I understand your point.
Yeah, that's why it was easy for him to rush back to the party before
the former governor of Delta State.
James Sibori. And you know, anybody cannot be a governor in Delta State without James Sibori's blessing. And so, if he's able to walk his way through some of these persons, you know, 24 hours is enough for politicians to swing things in Nigeria. And so, most especially, like we have said, it's not about you and I, it's not about ideology, it's not whether people buy into it. It's more about personal interest.
Okay, we just have to end now, but I just want you to say something very briefly now. For you, what kind of, what do you see in 2015? What do you see happening politically?
I really don't see any departure from what we've had.
Because the year after will be elections.
This 2018, because a lot of compromise will be made. I would not see any serious governance, because government decisions will be taken, you know. Government want to be politically correct rather than, you know, being firm on the ground. And so the ball is going to be dropped further. And because we have an election in 2019.
Yeah, it's 1 year where Nigerians shouldn't expect anything from government, because now they will be preoccupied with activity for the next phase of their political career. And you know that in Nigeria, it's about the politician. It's about who gets what, when, and how. It has nothing to do with the masses or the general populace. So it's just about them playing their games, clinching power, fighting each other, and getting what it is that is left for the country.
This kind of thing simply justifies the call for probably a single term of 6, 7 years.
I really don't.
What difference?
I'm not bothered about those single terms.
When there's no political ideology.
If a man gets a single term of 6 years, after doing 4 years, he might just decide for the remaining 2 years.
But for me, really, what it should be more should be about reforming our electoral processes so that the votes will truly count. Whether you get 8 years or you get 4 years. If you don't perform well in 4 years,
the votes are beginning to, they're counting. And that's one thing. That's what I tell,
with the e-voting coming up.
That's what I tell people, that the greatest thing Nigeria did in 2015 was to change government. Because there was one clear message sent to the political class.
Exactly.
That at least people can actually change a government that they feel is not performing.
You don't need a fixed term of 6 years. Let's have it this for 4 years.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program. Libros, thank you very much for coming on the program and for being with us all through this year. Evans, thank you. On several occasions, you've been on this program as well. We thank you very much, and we'll pray for a better 2019, not just for ourselves, but for our country as well. Well, that's it on the program. If you want to watch it again, it's simple. All you just need to do is go to our website, tv360nigeria.com. You'll find this program and lots more there. You can also follow us on YouTube. The YouTube address is youtube.com/TV360 Nigeria. You can as well join us on Google+. That's at TV360 Nigeria. Or follow us on Facebook. The Facebook address is facebook.com/TV360 online. And of course on Twitter, it's at TV360 Nigeria. Well, thank you very much for watching. And, well, we'll see you again. I shouldn't say we'll see you next year because I believe by the time you're watching this program, it will be